Women, you women, process, articulate, process, articulate, process, articulate. Hear it, got something to say. Hear it, got something to say. Hear it, got something to say. Simplify. Here's what brothers say. Y'all talk all the time. All right. Y'all with me now. So we're fundamentally different. Catch that, ladies. Because he's process, contemplate, then he's going to articulate. Catch that. So if he don't respond immediately, don't start tripping. He's in contemplate mode. Don't mean he don't love you. Don't mean he's trifling. Come on. Don't mean he's off the chain. Remember, he is process, contemplate. Yeah, you got to think about it. And sometimes he come back to answer the question days later. You look at me like, for real? I'm just being for real. This brothers, that's how they process it. And so they show up a week later to your question, Sister Drummer. You're like, what to work? Because you process articulate. He asks you something, bam, you got something coming back, bro. Brother, how many brothers know that about ladies? You say something to a woman, you got something coming back. Sometimes you don't even want it to come back, but it's coming back. I'm trying to keep you out of trouble. And so fundamentally, we're different because of how we're going to process, how we're going to handle it. And that can very well lead to issues in the house, get the house upside down if we don't understand it, because she can form opinions that aren't really in line with who he is. He really ain't crazy. He really don't need medicine yet. You just ain't figured out he processed, contemplate, and he gonna come back and say something. Hello. Now some of the ladies, there's a rumor out there, there's a rumor out there, oh, Pastor, we do the same thing as the men, we just do it faster. No. Ladies, y'all need to quit lying. Y'all contemplation is in y'all's process. Y'all give it a nanosecond. Sometimes y'all ain't even heard the brother all the way through. Y'all be cutting them off, jumping in talking. Amen. Now, just be for real now. Brothers, if any of y'all have a conversation with a woman and she just cut you off, went to the counter, just picked up the conversation, just read your mind. She ever done that? She's done that? You ain't got to be scared here. Raise your hand. I got your back, man. We all right in here. Now, you safe in here, bro. I got your back. If you need me to go home with you, let me know. I'll go home with you. Shoot. Might be safer at your place than mine anyway. Just kidding. So here this man, he handles information differently, and so it can lead to communication issues, and we get upside down. And because he's like, man, I'm trying to communicate, I'm trying to get this going on. And he's talking to this woman, she's processed, articulate, and she comes back, and guess what happens? When he can't keep up, and sometimes we can't keep up, we shut down. So when he went to sing, it ain't that he doesn't know how to talk. He just said, forget this. There was so much coming so fast, he like, whatever. And let it go. Then, I'm just talking about me because, I wouldn't want none of y'all to get in trouble. So, in my own life, I can look and see it generationally how it's taking place. My mother used to be like that. I mean, she's, y'all see her here, she's quiet and all stuff, but she's rather loud. Don't text her, call her, tell her that I said that. She's rather loud, and she got, women, they got a lot of words. That's scientifically proven. Study that too. You find that women have more words than men. And so she has a lot of words. And I noticed, I didn't understand it there for a season. My dad would be like, he just go to another room. She still be talking. I'd be like, I ain't got nothing to do with this conversation. I done walked into it. He done left the room. I'm like, I don't even know if this is for me. But, so she's running off and boom. And then now that I've been married 28 years, I can testify. It began to click for me. I said, I learned this from my dad. Somebody said, thank God for him. Thank God for him and his training of me. And my wife gets, I'm like, man, good God. I'm process, contemplate, articulate. I said, man, that's a whole lot. I didn't keep up with all that. I had to let some of that go. So I said, I'm like, man, Sean, I let that go. Go play golf or something. And so then I get down, my daughter, I watch her, I said, man, she get excited or something. I'm like, girl, slow down, what'd you say? Brothers, just being honest now. Don't serve now. You can raise your hand on this, man. Don't worry about her now. Have you ever been talking to a woman? And we won't say it's her, just another woman. You were talking to a woman, and she got to talking so much, so fast, brought pronouns in it. He, she, they, them. You didn't even know who she was talking about. Ever been in that situation? You raise your hand on that. So you be like, yeah, so that happens. But you did it too. See, that happens sometimes. You'd be like, what the world? And then if you ask about who it was, then they get mad. You weren't listening? Who gonna follow all that? You've been talking for 15 minutes. Walker, that ain't happened to you. That ain't never happened to you, has it? Well, we won't tell Kiara. We won't tell. And so that happened. And men will be like, man, because they in this process contemplate, articulate, I'm helping somebody. And so they think a little differently and they communicate a little different. So you got to embrace it. You got to, when you're ladies, don't feel like your man don't talk. He do talk. When he got stuff he know, he talk about it. When stuff he's excited about, he talk about it. But ladies, you got to be wise. If you one of them, you know, you process, articulate, you got to break it and say, let me hold up so you can hear him out. Because if you jump in there and say something and you start talking, guess what? He's going to go back to contemplate. He stopped talking about whatever he's supposed to be talking about, and he's trying to figure out what you're saying. So if you want to hear him out, allow him to talk and say, let me really get to know him. That's you'll fool around and wake up and say, I thought I knew him. Because you always cut him off. He went to contemplating about what you said. Because you brought up something. You have to resist the urge to say, yeah, I know what you're talking about. And then he doesn't know what to say. Now, what did you just say? What does your aunt have to do with my conversation? And he's off. Because you get, remember, we communicate differently. Am I doing all right? Y'all with me? And so you got to understand that, because I'm guaranteeing you the man talks. Matter of fact, ladies, just pay attention to him. When he gets around his boys and they go to talking about football, does he talk then? When he gets around and he knows basketball and he's talking around his friends, does he talk then? When he gets around somebody and they're talking about whatever it is, cars or golf or music or cell phones, does he talk then? If he's talking then, that tells you he can definitely talk. Because he talks about what he knows. Did you catch that? I said he talks about what he knows. And so you got to understand he will talk. Now you just got to make sure that, well, I'll be willing to listen. A lot of women in this day and age can't handle a man who talks. Because their discipline says, I will not listen. And then that makes for a problem. Because he wants to talk. But if you start out-talking him, he going to be in contemplate mode. He's everything. Oh, let me process that. Am I supposed to respond to that? How do I respond to that? And then you've not learned him. Single ladies, let me help you. If you ever meet a rascal, you know, because Steve Harvey tells you to ask about short-term goals, all that stuff, long-term goals. If you meet a rascal who cannot tell you about himself, he can't tell you about where he going, Krishana, that means he don't know. Because if he knew, he'd be excited and he would talk about it. All you got to do is listen. And brothers, if you ever meet a sister who is processing, you ask her about her goals, and she don't say nothing, run. As fast as you can, something is wrong. Because she gonna want to talk about it. She gonna tell, well, I want to be married, but this time I want to have 3 children. And she ain't got nothing to say. She probably got something in her purse. You better run and run fast. Say, we through with this, it's done, it's over, it's a wrap. Because you don't want to get jacked up with somebody that's crazy. Because the communication is key. You'll end up upside down. You'll be like, good God Almighty, this is nuts. Are you all right in here? So it's very important that we learn how to communicate effectively. Understand that men and women are different, and that's all right. But we got to, be decent in order to say, okay, he flows this way, I flow that way. That's cool. And check us out. You got to pay attention to the nonverbals too. Can I help us for free? Nonverbal communication. There's always some nonverbals in there. There's a lot of stuff that don't get communicated, and you gotta understand that. For example, brethren, listen to me. Most women, when they ask you to do something, they want you to do it right now. Y'all ain't even married, and y'all over here. Right now. Y'all got that, brothers? Women want you to do it. They don't tell you when, but they want you to do it right now. Now, sisters, take a deep breath. Check this out. Brothers are priority oriented, which means when you tell them what to do, or this thing you ask them to do, well, in their minds, they say, let me put that on the priority list. Understand that it may not be number one. So when you ask them to do something, they said, oh, okay. For example, Sister Green asked me to do something. She don't tell me when. I'm sitting there thinking, well, shoot, this is July. I got this to do and this to do, and need to get this done. Oh, I get to that about the middle of August. So in my mind, the middle of August is when I'm going to get to what Sister Green asked me to do. She didn't say when for me to do it. So I'm bouncing along thinking I'm going to do this the middle of August. Next week, second Sunday, she mad. She's sitting up in the 12 o'clock service with attitude. Because Pastor has not moved on what she asked him to do. I'm up here preaching and excited about Jesus and all that great stuff. Because in my mind, I got it August the 15th. It's July the 8th. And she's like, this Negro got the nerve to be preaching to people. Ain't done nothing, not the devil do. Ain't done nothing I ever asked him. He's just trifling. I'm going to have to get somebody else to do it. All that's running through her mind. She got attitude. I'm up here happy-go-lucky, thinking everything is cool, Brother Taylor, because on my list, I'm going to get to that August the 15th. That's the way it is. Now check this out, because it ain't over yet. We gonna go home. I was like, Sister Green, you sure look good. She like, because in her mind, you ain't done what I asked you to do. I'm still tripping like, what's wrong? I didn't think the sermon was that bad. Sister Green. Like I'm still over here with my simple self trying to figure this out. And she's over here, she mad because I ain't done nothing. I ain't done this thing she told me to do. And she been out of shape. And now I got attitude.